Hi guys, hi beautiful, beautiful light beings. Welcome to another Journey Now video, and this is Heidi here, speaking to you today. Have a little bit of a message that we would like to share. I have with me as my guide for today's video the beautiful, beautiful blue energies of Archangel Michael, and he is one of my common guides, as I myself am a blue ray. So I do carry that light within, which allows me to quite easily connect with him as one of the main sources of information that reflects my core essence and my core ray. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the rays today, is what he would like me to address. And he's telling me the interplay on the planetary ascension right now, and how he would really like me to express some love and some hope and some faith for the viewers out there right now who are feeling the pot being stirred. And he says it's like a giant cauldron, and of course, as we start to talk about cauldrons, right away I have Merlin popping in, who is one of my other main guides, and he carries quite heavily with him the purple ray, the violet ray, the energies of magic and manifestation. And so really having Michael and having Merlin with us today gives you a bit of insight in which rays are specifically coming through me to be passed on within the light language, light coding of today's videos. And so Merlin is introducing himself, and he's letting me know that he's very pleased to be here. And he does present quite commonly as, you know, the wizard in the movies. For me, it's like a costume to him that just allows me to recognize his presence. So there'll be an imprint inside of me that recognizes his energy stamp, and then the visual that he likes to present himself to me with, because that's the image that I really enjoy when I think of Merlin. And I do have ties from past lives with Merlin and of course with Michael. And you'll find when you are going into your own spiritual ascension and you're connecting with your own guides, if you really pay attention to the guides coming through and you start to recognize their energies and their lights, this is going to give you a little bit of information, I guess they would say, on your DNA, which houses your own individual, because there isn't, what Michael is saying is there isn't a single person who will carry the exact harmonics or frequency signature. And so basically they're saying, to sum it up, they would really like you guys to know right now that within these tumultuous times, we are all these beautiful glowing lights serving out our own authentic nature. So basically it's a video of helpful tricks and ways in which we can serve our own light, because what they're saying right now is they're just showing me a rapidly spinning vortex of energy, and they're explaining to me that that would be like the soup in the cauldron or the soup in the pot. And then Merlin is there with his stick, his staff, and he's stirring and he's stirring and he's feverishly stirring. And he says, so as the pot is moving around and everything is mixing and intermingling, it's really mixing, intermingling all of the different frequencies on the planet right now. And that is Gaia's shadow work. And then we have our own shadow work, and they are truly and completely, they say, interconnected. And until we start understanding how our individual roles are required and so important and so beautiful and so rare. So there isn't a one of us, not a one of us walking around in our light working suits. That's funny, that's what they're calling it, our light working suits, who isn't rare, because we are rare at this time because we chose to serve light code in physical embodiment onto Gaia for help, and as well pulling ourselves up with her to aid in the dawn of the new age and the creation of that very template. And it isn't a new creation, it's like a return to our true nature, which once reconnected universally, multidimensionally, with all platforms, with all layers, with all frequencies, within that connection of uniting into oneness, that really is the true birth of the age, the golden age of Gaia. And so that really means that the more we as star workers and embodied Christos consciousness, the more that we can connect to our own authentic individual lights, basically by way of acknowledging them, recognizing them, and honoring them. That is how we breach. Now they're just showing me the great mother whale breaching the ocean and glinting in the sunlight, her beautiful, beautiful belly, and it's just so wonderful. And so they say until we breach out of the pot and the shadow work, the combination shadow work together and unify, then we will be breaching the new world. They are calling it like, it is a right to exist and experience new opportunities, new ways of being. It's a whole new ball game, guys. So I think we're all tired of the old games, the old patterns, and the majority of us now residing here on beautiful Terra Gaia, the great mother, the great divine goddess that she is. We are all here right now because we desire a new game to play, that we can take in those physical experiences together and create a whole wonderful new expression of the humanoid on the planet. And what that looks like for everybody is going to be different because we're all so different. And so the way that we can view our individual roles within the ascension and what they might look like, they don't want me to use the word future here. So what our roles might look like when sitting in 5D, helpful trick and hint is to look and observe in your own projection field. So your own projection field is going to be your reality, everything near and dear to you that is in your home, in your family base, that is rooted into you. Observe this and notice the patterns and recognize which patterns serve and no longer serve. And then make an intentional choice now to release the ones that no longer serve, as you are simply releasing parts of really dense, traumatized, trigger-pointed energy frequencies, old ways that belong and serve 3D Gaia, the 3D matrix, and the more dense experiences and expressions that we have been playing in, so that we could have a polarized, and that allows you in a polarized perspective of your own projection to see where you've come from, where you want to be. And so whatever's collapsing around you right now, it is very important to recognize, what is it that's collapsing? What is it that's rising up and stirring and causing you to notice? Because that's the key there. And it really doesn't have anything to do with what's in your mind, positive or negative, because we are coming to a place where, as light beings and the stage of ascension that we are working at now, we are so present and capable, is what they're saying, capable now of sitting in the 0 point. So the 0 point is where we become manifestors of our own realities. It isn't until we obtain and practice the 0 point perspectives of observation that we can fully dismantle and release the shadow work, allowing ourselves to become that butterfly. So that's what we're doing. We're basically cocooning ourselves, removing all that does not present itself as our true nature any longer as the butterfly, so that we can fully live, experience, and express as the butterfly without the old interferences that really sit in our subconscious, that have been practiced and patterned and implanted and brainwashed. It really doesn't matter what words you use. The reality just is quite simple at this point. There's enough of us that recognize that everything that we know, everything we believe, and everything we thought to be true is not. So now that we can, they're saying, get over ourselves, get over that, we step onto the next playing field, where now we are intentional manifestors, intentional creators. And while it's fine to practice your intentional manifesting and your creative projections, because they like to call it that, we will be much better at it the further that we envelop the 0 point perspective. So I hope that makes some sense. And they're saying, cheer up, because what looks terrible and grievous to the masses, again, now distance yourself from social media and news. I feel I don't need to repeat those things as often, because we are becoming more present in that, knowing that, like they said, we can move past that. That's already learned for the majority of us. So now that we recognize the importance of no judgment, that is where the 0 point sits. It's when you become capable of viewing what the old patterns and groomed and processed you, because now they like to call it that. They're saying you can say you were processed. No different than the foods, the processed foods, and we all know how bad those are. So we're basically moving from a processed, carbon-based version, physically, mentally, in our heart spaces, in our chakra systems, in our light body, all of the layers that make us our beautiful selves, all of that, we are starting to recognize and open the window to the 0 point, to understand that everything we have truly judged was judgment ourselves upon ourselves. And we are understanding the value, we are seeing the value, I believe, of what that 0 point does for us, because once we hit that and we practice it, so practice it, and there's no judgment again, and you will be there when you're supposed to be there. Again, no judgment, and that means you do not judge yourself. They want you to know that. You are where you are intended to be. You are where you wanted to be. And everything is progressing in its divine perfection. So now that we see that and we understand that fully in our heart space and in all of our levels, everything that shows up in our environment that we view from the 0 point, so that allows us to no longer label it as a negative, a positive, a good or a bad. It is simply a projected piece of us. And now you can decide without labels, is that old, dense you? Is that part of the work that you want removed? Is that something you no longer wish to project? And the things that pop up and you embrace and love that you might have creatively designed in the likeness of the 5D you. So we need to pay more attention to seeing the old and the denser parts that pop up in our projections. We look at them and we maintain the 0 point. And it's okay while we're practicing to sit at the 0 point where it starts as a, uh-oh, I don't like that. As soon as you feel that, that's a recognition for a reason. So take the, uh-oh, I don't like that, and go, oh, okay, I recognize you. I no longer wish to receive this, or I allow the removal of, because I am now this. This is who I was always, and I am now accepting and stepping into my organic core self. And so the core is your original organic light code. So that code is, they could say, your central sun. It is your inside universe. It is your living library. So just like all around us universally, there is the living library, Alcyon, however you would like to terminologically describe the sun. Again, no matter feminine, no matter masculine. However you determine that sun, understand we are all one, and so you have that in you, and that's where you need to be going to receive it, your own DNA light code. So basically they want to keep it nice and clean and optimistic today, in the way that they just want to commend us all, and they want me to speak for them when they say, bravo, we are successful, we are united, and we are serving the full spectrum of our divine truth more and more and more. And that momentum is what is building and carrying us forward. So again, please, they say, and Merlin is actually putting out light code behind me. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's like a pulsating light code. And that light code is stirring up dormant DNA. It is activating removals that might be stuck, that no longer serve. And this light code specifically coming in, if you are one of the ones who can see color, see auras, see light code, is going inside each of you individually, and it is implanting into your dormant DNA. So we all know and have learned that we are operating on a very small and minimal amount of our DNA, and there's this whole idea that has been expressed time and time again that science has basically said we cannot explain why there is this massive amount of dormant DNA within each human being. And what exactly is it? Why is it junk? Well, it's not junk. That is your dormant light code. So how incredible is that? And we are our own maps and our own templates. There isn't another person who fits inside of you that carries your DNA and your templates. They're saying, do not forget, of course, the twin flame, or the soul twin is what I like to call it, is the closest you will be having of it's not a duplicate. They don't want me to call it a duplicate. It was created at the same time. So every single being has their TF who will carry that exact mirror core frequency. So I hope I've given any type of information that's helpful, but it really is just them coming in and pressing me to give out to you congratulations and love unbounded. So much appreciation here. So much gratitude is what they're saying for you, for what you've done and what you continue to do. Love and light, you guys. So grateful for you being here and sharing this space with me today. I'm just so happy, and I feel very, very much in love with the ascension journey. I'm hoping we're all getting to that place where we're in love with the ascension journey. Love and light, guys. Mwah. See you next time.